We didn't get everything we wanted, but most of the important things we feel that we were successful. Namely, just to name two, the unnamed street outside, which was going to be taken away, that's going to remain. Hopefully down the road we'll make that street an official street and name it, so that we don't have to go through this nonsense again. And also, big issue is the preservation of the trees. And we do have an agreement that even though there are trees that are being slated to be removed, we do have an agreement that before any tree is removed, like we did on the south side, the Pelham Parkway Preservation Task Force is going to be meeting with DDC before they actually take these trees down, to examine them, have their own arborists to look at them to make sure that we can save them. We were very successful on the south side of the parkway doing that. How many trees came down on the south side? Very few. I think a handful compared to a crazy number in the hundreds. So we think we're going to be successful again. Tonight I want to ask you, let DDC make the presentation. Following the presentation, we can have questions and answers. So just hold your questions until the end of the presentation. And before we go on, I want to thank Bernadette Captain, Ms. Bernadette. Bernadette, thank you again for making this facility available to us. We really appreciate it. And thank you for everybody that came out. Maria, you going to do the presentation?
I'll do. With our community construction liaison, Thomas Alexander.
Okay. Who, Thomas? Oh, come on now. Whoever's doing the presentation? You're doing the presentation. Introduce yourself. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Thomas Alexander. I will be the Community Construction Liaison for the Pelham Parkway, Reconstruction of Pelham Parkway Phase 2. I'm going to attempt to go through this presentation here. I'm going to flip through my notes here while also flipping the slides. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. Some candid shots of the Pelham Parkway area. And we're going to jump right in. Here's the agenda for the presentation. Basically, we're going to get into the what, the when, and the where with respect to this project. You can see from the agenda, we're going to talk about the design phase next, and I'll go right into that. So this design coordination phase in this project lasted approximately a year. As John mentioned, there was a lot of input from the community. We also had a lot of input from the varying agencies that are involved in the project. The design coordination phase was used to address the agency's competing interests, as well as to address community impact concerns, as well as to improve collaboration from all of those parties with respect to this project, using lessons that we learned from Pelham Parkway Phase 1. The objectives of the design phase, like I said, was to make sure that there was interagency coordination and sign-off from the commissioners of those agencies. There was elected official input, review and input, and as I mentioned previously, there was a robust community engagement process whereby the community was involved in the design phase, the design process of this project. Below you have listed additional participants that were part of that process, just to give you an idea of everyone that was involved in developing the project prior to us all being here tonight. So, a little jumpy. Okay, project information. Okay, so that's just a snapshot of what we're about to get into. This is going to talk about the where and the when. Okay, here's your project map. And we have our project locations. So in the Pelham Parkway westbound main road, that work is going to occur between Bronx River Parkway and Hutchinson River Parkway. Also on the Pelham Parkway North Service Road, that work will occur between Bronx Park East and Stillwell Avenue. Listed also are side streets that will be touched as a result of this project. Just want you to know that in most cases, the work that will be done on the side streets will be to facilitate tie-in of the water mains or tie-in of the roadway work that is going to occur on the northbound, on the north service road. The goal of this project is necessary to upgrade aging underground utilities and infrastructure and to address deficiencies within Pelham Parkway's westbound Main Road and North Service Road, such as poor drainage, lane width, and pavement deterioration. The project scope. So this is where the money's going. This is all the work that is going to happen on this project. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to read each of these because I'm going to, within the subsequent slides, I will touch on what's happening place to place within the project. Okay, for every project, before construction work can occur, there is preliminary work that has to happen. So while you don't see any construction happening at the moment, there is work that is occurring to get the project up and running. So, so far what's happened is we have opened the field office, 1200 Waters Place, Suite 312 is where the field office is located. The community construction liaison begins outreach activity. This is the beginning of my outreach activity. Hello everyone. You will be seeing me in the neighborhood from this day forward, getting to know everybody, trying to develop my neighborhood notification listing that I'll be using to keep you all informed moving forward. We will be setting up, the contractor will be setting up the storage area. There will be mobilization of machinery and material, and the tree mitigation plan will be in effect. One of the first things you'll see will be tree pruning. You'll also see installation of tree guards around those trees that are out there. As was mentioned earlier, on a project of this nature, there will be tree removal. As was mentioned, we're working very closely with the working group to try and mitigate the removal of trees as much as possible. Okay, utility interference. See, that's a picture of, that's an extreme case, but that is a picture of the kind of interference that can appear underground. Before we can perform construction work, that utility interference will need to be addressed. So these facilities will need to be relocated in some cases, and utility companies will relocate those facilities to accommodate the proposed installation of water mains and sewer. As I mentioned, relocation of gas main. There's approximately 10,000 linear feet of gas main that will need to be relocated on Pelham Parkway North between Boston Road and Stillwell Avenue before the installation of the trunk main can occur. There is a trunk main that I'll get into a little bit that is going to be installed on the North Service Road. There's also a transmission gas main that will need to be relocated at the corner of Pelham Parkway North and Bronx Road Avenue. Okay, project duration. Bear with me for one moment, please. Project duration, construction sequence. So, project schedule and work sequence. The anticipated project schedule for this project is the summer of 2017 to summer 2021, approximately a 4-year project. And the work is anticipated to occur eastbound to westbound. Okay, so the work will begin near Stillwell and work towards White Plains. Okay, so you see the sequence of the work has us working on the main road first. Then we will move over to the North Service Road. Okay. So, reconstruction of the Pelham Parkway westbound main road. And as you can see, we're going to be installing water main. There's going to be new highway drainage structures installed, new curbs, new sidewalk at bus stops. There's going to be ADA compliant pedestrian ramps, a steel-backed timber guide rail running the length of the roadway. There's going to be new roadway, including concrete road base and asphalt pavement, and new pavement markings on the main road. Okay, we have a rendering here that shows you what the roadway currently looks like. This is the proposed roadway that hopefully will look like that when we're done. And we're also going to be installing an SDS bus lane, and there'll be an additional travel lane installed as well. The reconstruction of Pelham Parkway North Service Road. Okay, on the service road, we will be installing a 48-inch steel trunk main, so 4-foot diameter pipe that is going to be going in on the roadway, as well as 20-inch, 12, 8, and 6-inch distribution water mains. We're gonna be doing new sewer and catch basins and sections, new sidewalk with steel-faced curbs, new roadway including concrete road base and asphalt pavement, and new pavement markings as well. So this is a shot of some trunk main work that we have file footage of trunk main work that has happened in the city. And you can see the pipes are large. So as a result, there's going to be wide and deep excavations on the North Service Road to facilitate the installation of this pipe. So this is a shot here, approximate location of where this pipe is going to go. Now, you should understand that the pipe doesn't necessarily go in a straight line down the North Service Road. There are bends, and there'll be, it's not necessarily going to be a straight line. There'll be points where it will shift within the road, but it's going to be on the North Service Road. And as a result, you can expect that curbside parking will be impacted. Driveway access may be impacted. We will work with you to coordinate driveway access as this work is happening. Traffic detours may be required, okay? Alternate arrangements need to be made for school bus pickup, drop-off, and/or deliveries. That's why I'm here. I will work with all of you to coordinate those services, as well as garbage pickup. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to be doing sections of 12, 15, and 18-inch combined sewer with catch basins on the North Service Road with some work in the side streets. Kruger and Fish are two blocks that I know for sure we're going to be doing just sections of sewer installation within the blocks. Again, sewer typically requires deeper excavations. The trench in some instances will need to remain open until that section of work is completed. So again, driveway access may be impacted. We'll work with you to try and mitigate that as much as possible. Access to the North Service Road from some side streets may be temporarily restricted, and detours may be necessary as a result of this work. On the south side of the North Service Road, between Williamsbridge Road and White Plains Road, there is going to be a section of sidewalk. Sidewalk is going to be installed, again, on the south side, the south side of the North Service Road. Sidewalk from White Plains Road to Williamsbridge Road will be installed. Okay, the pathway right out front here is going to receive new corner curbs and catch basins for drainage. Okay, and we're going to update that pathway to make it functional and safe with regard to roadway regulations. We're going to be putting new markings in there. We'll be putting new roadway markings in there to make it functional. Okay. Peace Plaza, this section here where Westchester, Esplanade, and Laconia meet. When we do the trunk main, when we install the trunk main on the North Service Road, when we get to this intersection, the subway is underneath here. We will be installing a manifold on top of the subway roof to accommodate the water main that's being installed. So the water main pipe, which is quite large, it's so large it would not be able to fit over the top of the subway roof without a significant hump in the roadway. So we're going to be installing a manifold which will simply break that larger pipe into 3 smaller pipes, bring it across that intersection. So there will be a slight crowning effect in that intersection, just so you know. So it'll be slightly crowned because of that manifold. Also at that area, there will be, as you can see on the diagram, there are going to be bump outs right here for pedestrian safety, pedestrian protection, and traffic calming. So at those 3 corners, the sidewalk will be bumped out. Just to add a note, I was out there the other day, and the area, that top arrow right there, I actually saw why they were going to put this in, because cars do come flying through there, and I actually saw a young lady standing there, and it made me realize why the bump out's there, because she almost got hit. So I think in this particular area, it is a necessary feature that's being put in. Maintenance and protection of traffic, work hours, and traffic stipulations. Maintenance and protection of traffic, as I mentioned earlier, there are going to be impacts to traffic. With respect to pedestrian access, there will be access to buildings at all times for pedestrians. Bus stops will need to be relocated while performing work on the main road. Work on the westbound main road and the northbound service road will not occur simultaneously. Okay, so our construction work will not happen simultaneously on the two roadways. Lane closures will occur on the main road. However, there will be two travel lanes maintained at all times. Trunk water main sewer installation on the North Service Road will require a detour to Astor Avenue or Waring or any of the avenues north. Through traffic will be maintained when working across intersections. So when working across an intersection, if the work comes across, we'll plate it to make sure, we'll plate the one side to make sure that traffic can keep moving while we work in the intersection. Okay, so this is an example of what a detour will look like if working in the main road. Okay, so this is right here. If the work zone happened to be right there, folks will be detoured. I'll put it this way. People who don't want to wait to go through the two travel lanes, that blue section right there, will be the two travel lanes that will be continuing westbound. But if you don't want to wait and want to move around it, you can go up and around on the North Service Road or further up and around to Astor Avenue or continue further up if you'd like to. Okay. And once again, detour, BMS boards will be put up to make people aware of these detours. Okay, I might have jumped. Okay, so on the North Service Road, it's the same situation. So we're working on the North Service Road, putting in that trunk water main. Traffic will be diverted up and around. We will only close those blocks necessary or be working. Traffic will be detoured only as necessary when it comes to those blocks that we're working on. So we're not going to take any more space than we need to. Okay. Typical work hours. It's an 8-hour shift, Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30 typically. There are work hours permitted from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay. Typically, when we're working on water main work many times does end around 3:30 or 4 o'clock. But in some instances, water main work can run late and can run until up to 6 o'clock. So that's why the allowable hours are there.